And hello, everybody. Welcome to you and you and you and you from all around the world. This is your host, Jim Masters, and you're watching the Jim Masters Show Live, the entertainment lifestyle talk show series that we launched 14 weeks ago. Unbelievable. 7 nights a week. I think over 100 shows already. We're going to be celebrating our 100th. This week, we're celebrating it, but we're going to have a bigger celebration this coming weekend, so stay tuned for that. If you're joining us for the very first time, it's a pleasure to have you here. I am your host, Jim Masters. I do this work professionally in the real world. Television, radio host, journalist, actor, voiceover artist, narrator, writer, producer, and stage MC. I've done it for a long time for networks and TV stations, radio stations, hosting, and all kinds of cool things. We launched this about 14 weeks ago, built the studio here at the home studio, turned on the lights, and the rest has been magic. We've got a worldwide audience of amazing people from around the world who tune into this show religiously and faithfully, and we really appreciate that. Folks from all over Europe, Africa, Australia, New Zealand, United States, Canada, and everywhere else in between. We haven't heard from the Arctic Circle or Antarctica yet, but hopefully soon. If you know anybody in those locations, tag them in a post. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you with us. We've got a great show in store for you. We have acclaimed actor and singer and recording artist, spectacular Darius De Haas. And if you know his work, you know what I'm talking about. If you're discovering him for the very first time, you're in for a treat. In addition to our wonderful in-depth conversation we're going to have here on this entertainment lifestyle talk show series, the Jim Masters Show Live, we also have some exclusive footage, video, world premiere videos that we're going to be sharing here that Darius has graciously shared with me to show you here exclusively on the Jim Masters Show Live. A lot of our guests have been doing that. They've been giving us exclusive premiere material that we've been debuting here on the series. And I really love that, and I really appreciate that, and it's a beautiful thing. So he's coming up in just a second. We're all excited to welcome him. Of course, we do our traditional welcomes here. We always toast our viewers all around the world. Now, we don't have the martini glass tonight. We have this. This is a part of a set from one of my dear friends, Denise, co-host on PBS, Public Television, sent a whole bunch of these from Crate and Barrel as a holiday gift a couple years ago. So we toast tonight to all of you. We hope you have your beverage of choice. We do toast with our guests, and we toast our viewers as well, to you and you and you and you from all around the world. Your friends are here as always. We have the cast of characters here. If I don't show these cast of characters, people start commenting, where are the cast of characters? So they're here for you. And again, they were here for a one night only situation when we did a nostalgic night, and everybody wants them to stay. So there's George Burns. He's there. He greets you. He sees all of you. He's got his cigar. He says hello. Everybody loves when George pops up. He is here sort of like my Ed McMahon, sort of like my, I'd say maybe like a co-host, sort of, maybe. He pops up when we need him. He keeps an eye on everything, and he's saying hello to you and you and you. So George is here. Again, if you're just joining us for the very first time, this show is all about inspiration, positivity, light, levity, and love, or as we accidentally coined the phrase lovity in the shape of a heart. That's what the show's all about. And all of our lovities, that's what the viewers are now called, are watching from around the world. So if you're watching for the first time, you are now one of our lovities. And it's a cool thing to be a lovity here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Jeannie is here. She greets everybody. You can probably see her winking at you from the official I Dream of Jeannie bottle. So Jeannie greets all of you as well. Good to have you with us, whether you're watching in the evening, the morning time. If it's Australia, we say good day. We do have a lot of folks watching in Australia, down under, where they're in the thick of winter now. If you watch this in our archives, then it doesn't matter what time of the day it is. And of course, Silver is here. Silver says hello to you. We got him on a TV shoot while in Europe. Comes from Switzerland. Very well-mannered canine. Silver, he sees all of you, and he greets all of you as well, almost in 3D, wouldn't you say? One of our sidekicks here on the show. Again, everybody looks for these characters. I just have to grow more arms. I need to be an octopus, I think, really, to effectively do it, or bring these a lot higher. Jimmy is here, and Jimmy greets you as well. There he is again, light, levity, and lovity. Jimmy greets all of you. He sees all of you. He's a friendly clown. Those of you who are afraid of clowns, he's a very, very friendly clown. We wouldn't have anything else here on the show. Actually, he was a childhood toy from my parents, and he's pretty well preserved, made of all porcelain, and he greets you. I think I'll have him fill in if I'm ever away or out of town on assignment. I will have Jimmy maybe fill in on the show. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you are around the world. Of course, we go big time here. We go lights, camera, and action. So here we go. Lights, camera, action. The Jim Masters Show live is live right now. And there you go. There's your lights, camera, action. Isn't this thing cool? I love this thing. I mean, we've taken so many things off the walls of the house here for this show. If I ever rename it, I will call it Off the Wall instead of the Jim Masters Show Live. We greet some of our viewers here in the interim and welcome everybody. And then we will greet our illustrious guest. And I am so happy that Christine is here. Greetings. Good evening, Jim, and all lovities. You're watching on the Jim Masters TV channel on YouTube. And I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. We're building that channel big time. We would love to have you there. And that's at Jim Masters TV. And all of the episodes of this series, the talk show series, are right there for you on YouTube at Jim Masters TV. You could see all the incredible guests that we've had on. Extraordinary guests have been on this show and more to come as we speak. And Willie in Holland is here. Willie is Holland, and thank you for the tulips. She's our viewer of the week. That's right. She was designated viewer of the week. We celebrate a viewer who watches all the time and who posts and shares the links and tells everybody. She's in Amsterdam, Holland, the Netherlands, where it's about 10 after 1 a.m. She's really faithful, and that's pretty cool that she does that. Sometimes she takes naps in the day just to watch our show at 1 a.m. I mean, she could watch it in the archives, but she wants to be a part of the live energy and the rhythm of live, which a lot of people like to do. So she's always here. And if she doesn't take a nap, she's up all day until she watches our show at 1 a.m. in Holland, which is what it is right now. So there are your Dutch tulips just for you, our viewer of the week, Willie. Good to see you and welcome. And thank you very much for your commitment to the show and telling everybody. We really appreciate that. Lots of great viewers in here today. And we have Christopher Joseph saying hello. Good to see you, Christopher, as well. Linda in Florida. Christopher's in Ohio. Good evening, Mr. Lovity. Good evening, everybody. Good to see you, Linda. You're saying to your wonderful friends here, Willie and Merlin. Hello, all Lovities. Welcome to Lovity Hall. Good to see you, Dante CD in San Diego, watching on Jim Masters TV on YouTube. That's cool. And more great folks, Jennifer Barry. And Jen is going to be very zen. She always gives us updates when she's zen. And she always asks our guests whether they prefer the mountains or the ocean. I like the ocean. I like both. I like the mountains and the ocean. But I prefer the ocean only because I grew up on the coast. So I'm so used to the ocean. Good to see you, Jennifer. You will be zen tonight with our very special guest, Pamela Perkle. Good to see you, Pamela. Thank you for joining us as well. We appreciate you being here. Hi, Marianne Kelly in New Jersey, watching the live showings, as many as possible. Always a treat. I hope you're doing well. Marianne Kelly in New Jersey. And hello, everyone from Renee in Iowa. Good to see you in Iowa, Renee. And Christine says, good evening, Jim and Lovities, and a warm welcome to those joining for the first time as well. We welcome everybody. And Kyle Rudy is here on Facebook. Hey, Kyle, welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live. Good to see you here. We hope you make this a regular part. We're here every night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And it's really cool. We have a lot of fun on this Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Everybody's saying hello to everybody. Many more hellos coming up here. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Linda in Florida. Mary Ryan is watching. I believe you're in Connecticut. You're raising a left-handed toast. Thank you very much. That's right. It is a very special day today for all of us, fellow left-handers. It's International Left-Handers Day. My whole family's left-handed. Parents, sister, me. We always trained our dog to give the left paw. Left-handed, you usually don't have the dominance of an immediate family being left-handed, but we all are. And so was Albert Einstein and Babe Ruth and Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney and Mozart and Leonardo da Vinci, left-handed as well. Oprah Winfrey, left-handed. So we're in some, and many, many more. We're in pretty good company, even though this is a right-handed world. We were the ones who in high school always had our arms hanging off the desk. What I had to do is when we had those spiral bound notebooks, I had to open up the spirals, take the paper out, close the spirals, close the top, and then put the paper on top in order to be able to write. We're the ones who also usually have the ink on our hands because we're going across as we do the, but fortunately, we read from left to right. So it makes it easier. I remember when I was in elementary school, they brought in these consultants and they tried to make all of the left-handed kids write righty. So they would actually lean over our shoulders. This was in New York. And they would take the pencil out of our hands or the pen and say, no, 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 no. Put it in the right hand. Try to do it with your right hand. I guess back then they thought that they were doing something positive because it would make our lives easier as left-handers because it's sort of a right-handed world. But I don't think one kid ever stuck to it. I do most things left-handed. A few things I do righty. When I drive, I hold the wheel with the right hand. A few things I do righty. But most of it is left-handed. So International Left-Handed Day today, and we welcome all of those who are left-handed or right-handed or ambidextrous, tall, short, doesn't matter. Everybody's welcome here at the show. And more comments coming in here from this great audience, and we encourage comments. Feel free. We always acknowledge the audience. Danilo, yes, I know you love George Burns, and we showed him. Ann watching in Southern California. Good to see you, Ann. Happy Thursday. 40 more days until your favorite season fall. I know. I was born in September. That is my favorite as well. Ching ching to you as well, Ann, with the toast. And first time here, hello from San Francisco. Kev Ware, welcome to the show. It's good to see you in San Francisco. Love that city. I was on a TV shoot there about a year ago, and it was terrific. We went to see some friends while we were there and had dinner in the city, and it's a great place to visit and to enjoy. And everybody saying hello. And Isigari, good to see you, Isigari, from Barcelona, Spain. We love when you're with us, Isi. Nice to have you here as well. Maryland, good evening, Jim and everybody. She's watching in Wichita, Kansas. Nice to have you here as well. You feel loved by all the lovities? Perfect. That's the atmosphere we like to have here on the show. Christine Fairwood here. Hi, all. Good to see you, Christine. Nice to have you with us on the show. Always beautiful when you're here and all the folks are here. Yeah, look at this. Yes. Yeah, we were talking about his Dutch connection as well with the last name, and has a lot of family in Amsterdam. Great place. I was there last year and the year before on TV shoots, and it was really, really terrific. And Kyle is saying hello, and everybody. Julianne is here. Julianne, Hannah, you're left-handed too. Oh, I'm going to wave with the left-handed. You're off tonight. You stay down there. We're celebrating left. So left-handers unite tonight, right? But if you're ambidextrous, somebody asked me, I'm ambidextrous. Does that count? Sure. Come on in. Come on in. Good evening from Ralph watching in Indianapolis area, or not Indianapolis. I think it's South Bend, right? Indiana. Good to have you with us there. You have 3 left-handed sons. I know. Back then, they tried to do that. You tried to do that. Judy Garland was left-handed as well, and you're left-handed. Wow, I didn't realize there were so many people that are left-handed. Ernestine, and watching in North Carolina. It's good to see you as well. Ernestine, welcome to the show, and you're also left-handed. See? I tell you, we all bleed red. We're all in it together, no matter what we are, what we look like, what our interests are. I think the world operates better when we're all in it together, all equally. So good to have everybody with us. We are very excited to welcome our terrific guests tonight. And again, we're going to be doing a world premiere of some terrific material here on the show. It's my very special guest, Darius De Haas, brilliant actor, singer, recording artist, highly acclaimed, highly awarded and rewarded for his amazing talents, been in so many spectacular productions, written up so many different times for so many positive things that he does with his life. And he's such an inspiration to so many people. We're going to go over some of the cool things, like when he was hanging with Diana Ross, or hanging possibly with Oprah, or somebody who is actually a friend of mine who I know personally, Michael Bolton. I'll just tease you with just those. But he's really terrific at what he does, and we're so honored to have him here on the show. Let's welcome my very special guest, Darius De Haas, to the Jim Masters Show Live.
Hello,
Darius,
happy International Left-Handers Day.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And I want to shout out my Uncle Andy Bay, brilliant, legendary jazz singer, pianist, who is also left-handed.
Oh, really? That's fantastic. That's fantastic. They say left-handed people tend to be very creative. So something about creativity and left-handed people, which is quite amazing. And I would have to concur with that. A lot of people that I know that are left-handed tend,
a lot of geniuses. I know a lot of geniuses who are left-handed.
I like that.
There you go.
So how are you, my friend? Welcome to the show. It's so nice that you could take time to join us on the broadcast. How have you been through all of this craziness of this rather unusual year?
Yeah, well, thank you first for having me, Jim, and thank you to Ralph Lampkin for making it all happen and being very persistent in this time where, it's so crazy and a lot of stuff going on. But I am very, very, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I think, I'm doing as we all are in this moment of stasis, as it were, in the pandemic and all the other things going on in the country and in the world. It can go through cycles of ups and downs and great investigation of what is going on and what your life is and all of that, and people sort of rediscovering who they are and seeing how they have to address different things in their lives, for those people with children and having to become teachers,
Right.
So it's been crazy. It's been crazy, but I have to say I am extremely, extremely fortunate. I'm extremely fortunate to be able to do what I do as a singer and actor and in all the different forms that I do it, because it has sort of managed to carry into this time where we cannot, be together physically. So thankfully there was that. And also just trying to find other ways, so I've been doing advocacy work for an organization that I'm part of called Black Theater United, which addresses systemic racism and institutional racism in the country that was, sparked by the killing of George Floyd and just, looking at that and opening up, the conversations about that and seeing how we can move forward and talking about being counted and how important it is to fill out your census and like that. So and I think that's important. This time is a great opportunity for us.
Yeah, it really. I've said that multiple times that I think that this is a pause where maybe the divine Mother Nature and the earth came together and said, you know what? I don't like the way things are going. I gave you this beautiful planet. I gave you life. I foster life. And you guys are fouling it up. So we're going to throw a health thing, an economic thing. We're going to change everything up here. And we're going to give you a couple of hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, floods on top of it. And we're going to see how you guys manage with this. And because we're going to hit you from every area you can think of. And will you rise from the ashes better, more loving, kind, friendlier, empathetic, listening more, less divisive? Will you come together and not just worry so much about, the buzz and the bling and the superficial stuff that everybody's been chasing for the last several years. So I'm hoping that we don't go back to normal. I'm hoping we go to something better.
Yeah, well, we can't go back. I mean, I think if this time is telling us anything else, we can't go back. We absolutely can't. Everything is pointing to having to evolve and move forward and have serious conversations in order to move forward. So I am totally with you. I absolutely agree that Mother Nature said, stop. And
That's it.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Because Mother Nature and the earth and the divine, they're the ones who are really in charge, not us. We think we are. They're the ones in charge. And as I mentioned, I knew Willie in Holland was going to say the last name is Dutch.
Yes.
So what's the Amsterdam connection?
Name. Yes, it is. And please say hello to all my relatives there. My dear cousin Sandra and my cousin Lana and my cousin Say and I have a lot of family. Yeah.
Dad is a Dutch national.
My husband. That's why he knows so much. So yes, Kyle.
Your dad is a Dutch national.
My father is a Dutch national. My father was born in Bandung, Java, Indonesia, where there were a lot of Dutch. There was a lot of Dutch presence at the time when he was born in 1930. To a Dutch father from the West Indies. My grandfather was born in Curaçao, which was Dutch populated. Oh, yeah. And my father's mother is German and Indonesian. So my father, up until he was a teenager, was born and raised in Indonesia, and then they moved to Holland proper when he was about 13 or 14 years old, and represented the Olympics, I think maybe in 1947, 1948.
Very cool.
And then discovered the bass. He's a jazz bassist who's played with some of the best in the business, and he came here like in the mid-50s and played with such great people as Chet Baker and Gene Krupa, and he was Peter, Paul and Mary's bassist for a time.
Really?
Davis.
I interviewed Peter, Paul and Mary many times on public television. They were terrific.
Yeah.
Really terrific.
He was their bassist like around the time of the civil rights movement during the March. He was their bassist.
Sure, yeah.
And he's on their In the Wind album. He's on a couple of their albums, but for anyone who has In the Wind, he's the bassist on that. Yeah.
So having this rich cultural background and having, a father in the industry, I would imagine all of this poured out to you early on, Darius, and really inspired and influenced you to want to take that baton and run with it and create your own career in such a beautiful way, huh? As an actor, a singer, a performer, with the tutelage of the expertise of people around you who sort of set the way for you a little bit.
Yeah, I was surrounded by my sister, my older sister Aisha, and I were raised in it, because my mother is a singer. She sang with my uncle, who I mentioned earlier, who's left-handed, my uncle Andy Bay. My mother and my aunt, my dearly departed aunt, who passed away this past weekend. So
yeah, we're sorry to hear that.
Canadian treasure.
Blessings to you and your family.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. It's she left quite a legacy, and the three of them together, they were this group called Andy and the Bass Sisters. And so we grew up with it on both sides. My father's bassist, my mother's singer, and I was fortunate to have so much music and to have their music. I was listening to their music and going to their gigs. When I was very little, my mother started doing theater. So I was exposed to the theater very, very early on. Yes, Ralph Lamkin, Andy Bay, an icon. It was, I guess, kind of inevitable. I think what happens is either you just find yourself going towards it, or you're like, I don't want to be part of this at all, and I'm just going to go be an accountant. And that wasn't going to happen because I'm horrible at math. So I found myself emulating my mother a lot. I would try to reenact what I saw her do on stage. I learned Sing a Song, the song Sing from Sesame Street. my father, knowing that I love that song, somehow he would say to his cohorts who he was gigging with on any particular occasion, if I was there, they would play the vamp to sing, and I would come up and, no fear, because I didn't know any better. I didn't know what I was doing, and sing a song, and thought I was killing it. And I'm sure now if I were to ever see videos of that, I'm sure I'd be mortified. But
what a great experience and opportunity early on for you, huh?
Early on, but my parents were not stage parents. My sister and I will be very quick to tell.
Yeah.
It's like, my parents were like, you were sure you want to do this? It's a very hard life, because my father was a jazz bassist, and jazz in the 70s, 60s, 70s was going through a hard time. Well, jazz in this country goes through a hard time anyway, because it doesn't really get the respect and real support that it deserves, as it is America's really
I love jazz.
art form.
Yeah.
It is America. And so, but it went through a really, really hard time in the 60s and 70s. And my father, but still, we were raised in a house. And we never really wanted for anything. And
you grew up in Chicago?
Huh?
Chicago.
Yeah, I grew up on the south side of Chicago.
So how did growing up in Chicago also influence, having, a city sort of texture and background and upbringing brings in certain sensibilities to performance as well. How did growing up in the Windy City do that for you as well, Darius?
Well, let me first say Chicago is a fantastic artistic city. It is a fantastic art city. And I don't know that I would have been as, in part, as successful as I've been in my many endeavors had it not been for the opportunities that I initially had in Chicago. And not only in theater, but being able to do club work, what little club work I did at a very early age before I moved to New York, doing even voiceovers and jingles. I even had a chance to do that before I left, because I left Chicago when I was 20 years old. Mm-hmm. But in the time that I started working professionally when I was 16, 17, and really I was very well fostered. There was a wonderful arts organization called ETA, which stood for Ebony Talent Association, where I had wonderful teachers. I was taught by a former Catherine Dunham dancer, Tommy Gomez, taught us Catherine Dunham technique, and then later by a wonderful person who followed after him, Bobby. I had a wonderful teacher, drama teacher, Renako Jahi. And so we had that. And then I made my professional theater debut at 17 with the Chicago Theater Company, which was also on the south side of Chicago. So, we were extremely fortunate, particularly when I look at it now, and when I look at how hard it is in terms of theaters getting funding and really being able to have a consistent support in terms of audiences and how you have to appeal to communities and people who underwrite you and how you plan your seasons and how you connect to your communities. And so I really am a product of not only my parents and my relatives, but also great community fostering support, and that can't be underestimated. So even Chicago, even with I was kind of in a segregated neighborhood, at the time. I mean, I was in a very black neighborhood because we moved there in what they call the white flight, but it was a beautiful community. So
Take us through those early years still, some of those opportunities that really developed for you there in Chicago. Did you also go right into like school plays and things? Were you participating in a lot of different things, performances as a youngster as well, Darius?
Oh yeah, I was trying, I would do the school assemblies. I don't remember anything specifically that I did like in grammar school. I remember doing some assemblies where I remember singing, because I was such a big fan. Before I did your show, I did a whole big symposium with the Uni Theater on the Wiz, the musical The Wiz, and I was a huge Wiz fan. And I remember singing Ease On Down the Road in my assembly in grammar school. But it wasn't really until I got to high school where I started doing productions. And I had a wonderful drama teacher, Shirley Kelso, who I had all 4 years. And I went to Whitney on Magnet High School in Chicago, and we did all kinds of stuff. I did Inherit the Wind and Wind in the Willows and Pearly Victorious. Exposed all kinds of Shakespeare. I wasn't very good at Shakespeare at the time, but we were exposed to everything. So that was in terms of school. But I was trying to get into everything in school. I was doing plays. I was in the choirs. I took dance class. I was trying to be a child prodigy. This is embarrassing. I shouldn't say embarrassing, but I wanted to be Gary Coleman, not literally be him, but I wanted to be a child prodigy.
You wanted to be.
I had my own TV show, and I would always go over different scenarios in my head and say, oh yeah, I could do that. Just let me have the chance.
Did you like comedy too?
I love comedy, but I didn't think of myself particularly as funny. I'm very serious. I was a very serious, very sensitive child. And I think I was one of those people who was funny in spite of himself. Like I would think I was saying something very serious and mean it, and people would be like, I was like, what? No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Yeah. So I kind of started to pay attention to that in my later career as I started to try to, work on my craft and kind of go, oh, that's how you can kind of work comedy into your particular way.
That's funny. So as you were trying to be the child prodigy, what were some of the things that were actually happening for you along the way? Opportunities, some of those little breaks that were starting to happen for you as you were getting recognized for your talent. And were you leaning early on towards the acting more or towards the singing, or do you want to do it all?
I really wanted to do it all. If you look at what I do now, when you see actor singing, I'm looking at my little caption down there, actor, singer, recorder, I was like, yep, that was what I wanted to be. And
that's all we could fill in that little font. There was a lot more we could have put in.
I know, it's like
the font was blinking, limit.
Don't go crazy. But that really,
we were going to put in child prodigy, but it didn't fit.
Well, I wasn't a child prodigy. I also was a child prodigy and an amazing one, but I didn't cross off that box quite. But I really was emulating what I was exposed to in terms of my parents, because they did record and my mother did act. I mean, I saw my mother do the shows when I was growing up, when I was very young, like 5, 6 years old. I saw her do the musical Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope. And then I saw her do To Be Young, Gifted, and Black, the beautiful Lorraine Hansberry play. She was in the Free Street Theater, which, talking about going to the communities, I saw her do that, where they had kids who saw this, reenact, try to create a play on the spot and build a story. And so I absorbed all that. And it really wasn't until I got to be an adult and I was trying to do all these things and maybe I wasn't getting as much traction as I thought. And I said, well, maybe I just need to do one thing. And I remember talking to someone, a colleague, and she said, well, Darius, you wouldn't be honoring who you are if you just stopped. I mean, unless I really felt I wasn't being able to do anything, but I really had to. Hi, Christopher Joseph. Because I made a very specific decision at one point when, I had been on Broadway. I'd done these Broadway shows and done some off-Broadway. And it really was a sort of a, come to Jesus moment for me. I said, but I also know I want to do concerts and recording. I want to do concerts and I want to do it on a really high level. And I took some time. I didn't leave the theater, but I did take some time to cultivate that. And so and thank God I did.
Yeah.
Thank God I did, because it has afforded me, and I look at it now in this pandemic, I said, thank God I did. Because I can do different things, and also as a testament to you, Jim, you're having to cultivate all these other skills, but I would venture to say that this was, something for you, given all the different things that you do. And it's like, okay, well, let's just put this hat on and let's go for it. And that's pretty much what I had to do, and learn how I could do it better. It's like, okay, you're a recording artist, get that audio interface and get those recordings out. You are a concert artist. Okay, we're streaming concerts. Let's put a concert together, which we'll stream, which I'm going to do next month.
Fantastic.
Look forward to. It wasn't.
Was that an aha moment?
Yeah, it was. It was like,
or is the tea ready?
I was like, what are they sending me? But I just had to honor that. Yeah. I just had to honor who I was and be okay.
Absolutely. Aside from the illustrious background of your family, who are some of the other folks that inspired you to perform, to act, to sing, to follow this path? Who are others that were mentors for you, and maybe others that were performing already that you had looked up to, that maybe you had an opportunity to come across and also guided you, or you just emulated them or really appreciated what they had to say and what they did?
Thank you for that question. There's so many, but of course, the foundation of it is my family and Andy, the Bay sisters. But also, who immediately comes to mind is Andre D. Shields, who some people may know most recently from his Grammy Award winning performance in Hadestown, which was just on Broadway just this past season. And of course, sadly had to shutter for the time being while we're in the pandemic. But he was a big influence. He was the Wiz in The Wiz. And when I saw him in that show, I was like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Another big influence, I would say, Lena Horne. When I saw Lena Horne in Lena Horne, the Lady and Her Music, it was one of those, electrifying moments. Truly, because she sent electricity through the whole audience with that show. Good grief. Lena Horne was just amazing. Who I can also immediately say, I'm going to toot my own family's horn. My Aunt Salome Bay, when she was in the original Broadway company of Your Arms Too Short to Box with God. And I got to see that in the out-of-town tryouts. And she sang a song called See How They Done My Lord. And just the feeling that she put through the audience and how she enveloped us as she was singing, because she was playing Mary, the mother of Jesus, watching her son being crucified. And she had this line that said, "Look at the blood, look at the blood." I remember talking to my friend Simone about who saw it as well. And she said, gosh, she was saying that line and you could see the blood. You could see the blood.
Yeah, you feel it.
So, she comes to mind. Oh God, Gregory Hines, Mandy Patinkin, I love.
How about Sammy?
Oh yeah, I love Sammy Davis Jr. Yeah. Sammy Davis Jr.
Ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, he was just amazing. And what was he is truly a testament to someone who really makes their mind up as to, it's like, oh, I can do that. I mean, the name of his autobiography. Yes, I can.
Have you always been like that yourself, or did that take time to become that way?
I was, as a little boy, I was very much like, yeah, why not? I could do that.
That's good.
Because I think when little kids, it's just as we get older and like that Sondheim song says, children will listen, and we start listening, and then we may start doubting ourselves, we might start questioning. But, kids are pure. And when we are allowed to just be, just to be and to let our imaginations go, then it's great. I have,
And that comes from the family, the parents, the teachers,
absolutely
recognizing in you and not saying this is what you have to be. They recognize various talents and interests and passions and helped sort of set the stage and foster it and maybe nurture it for you. Say, you go ahead. If you need anything, we're here, we're support, but we're not going to like stunt the growth. We're not going to stop you. And that's a beautiful thing, because it doesn't always, I had that like you, I had that sort of background where they're very, very supportive, but not all kids have that luxury. But it's very important to have that early confidence building so you can go out there and say, I can do that.
Just to allow, I have my little nieces, Remy and Ellie, when they were very little girls, and they're still little girls, but, they very creative and very, just let their imaginations run wild. And they, in their house in Virginia, Ellie used to have this big bouncy house, and I would be in the bouncy house. Yeah. And she would just let her imagination go, and I'd be like, okay, we're going to, I was getting tired. But I felt it was so important for her to be able to do it, because now she puts it into her writing. She's a wonderful writer. She's a wonderful storyteller. And I think that is really important for all kids to do that. I mean, I remember going across the street to my neighbors, and they said, Darius, dude, don't bother me, I can't cope, because they knew I loved my mother in Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope. So I would reenact Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope, and they would just let me go. And I know I was, whatever, but they just let me do it, and that's, that's important. That's
cool. So as you're going along, what do you consider the big break for you? When was that thing that was that launch pad for you that really opened up this wonderful Pandora's box of opportunity and expression and, productions and so much more? Is there one thing that triggered all of it for you?
Well, technically, I mean, there are a few milestones. And I would say one major building block to it was when I first moved to New York. And I went to the American Musical and Dramatic Academy, AMDA, as it's known.
Well, of course.
At that time, there was the show Once on This Island had its original Broadway run, and I remember them doing a nationwide search for the casting of that show, and I had actually been asked to come in to audition for it while I still lived in Chicago, and I didn't audition for it at the time because I was doing a production of Pippin, and it would have meant leaving Pippin and everything, and I was being loyal, and I felt I needed to honor that commitment. But then I moved to New York, I went to AMDA, I graduated from AMDA, and in the moment, and I call it the moment, but in the months that I was out in New York going, oh my God, where am I going to go? I'm not going to be unemployed. I did get a chance to audition for the national tour. And so, and I was cast. in it. So that sort of opened up, and also because of going to AMDA, because I had a wonderful teacher there, Michael Sarter, who actually somehow was contacted, I think, by the people who were involved once on this island to, reference and make sure, is he solid? Is he going to be consistent? And all that stuff. And Michael Sarter gave them a blessing for me. And then, but I think technically what kind of really opened up my career theatrically, from the theatrical standpoint, was a show I did off Broadway called Running Man. Written by this wonderful composer musician Deidre Murray, who also did the arrangements and stuff for that version of Porgy and Bess, that revival of Porgy and Bess that starred Audra McDonald and Norm Lewis a few years back. But years before that, and also this, and it was directed by Diane Paulus, who also directed Running Man. So
you're surrounded by all of this incredible talent and these veterans, and you must have been like, oh my God, am I really standing here?
Yeah, well, but at the time when we were working on Running Man, because we workshopped it and everything, and we didn't really know what we had, and it was Deidre's family story. And so that's what made it so beautiful, because you don't know what it
was raw and it was developing.
But then it opened like maybe a year later, after workshopping and all that stuff, at the small off-Broadway space, and it got these amazing reviews, and it really helped to put me on the map as someone to look out for. And I got offers, opportunities to go in for things, to go in for films, and all kinds of that theatrically is what opened me up. From a singing standpoint, I believe I would say it was when I took that moment. I mentioned I took a moment from my theater career to cultivate my concert recording career, and I put together a program of music by Billy Strayhorn. Mm-hmm. And I had the opportunity to present that at Lincoln Center, and that opened up that world. So, the Lincoln Center songbook gave me that platform, and from there I got to do a long run at this wonderful cabaret called Archie's Place, and I got to record an album or CD, not long after that, of all Strayhorn music. So that is what, those two things were seminal.
What was it like recording the album?
It was amazing. Was
it this one?
It is that one, Daydream. Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes,
we did our homework.
Yes, there it is. And that
cover too.
That picture was taken in Greece.
Was it really?
Yes, by this lovely man by the name of Sherelle. Mm-hmm. And Kyle and I were on vacation in Greece, and we came across him, and he said, "I want to take pictures of you." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And he took that picture as well.
Look at all those songs on there, great ones.
Yeah, huh? Yeah. It was an amazing thing. I was very fortunate. It was produced by Tommy Krasker. Mm-hmm. And it was, Tommy Krasker I knew because I had done some recordings on the None Such label, doing songs by Ricky Ian Gordon and Adam Gettle, these wonderful theater art songwriters, and really getting my feet wet in recording. And then I had done some original cast albums as well, but Tommy had been the producer on those recordings. So when the Strayhorn thing came around and there was the opportunity, and Tommy had started that label with his partner, Philip, he said, well, we want to record the Strayhorn album. And they underwrote it and did all of that. And I had my quintet of musicians that I kept all of them. And then they augmented it with orchestra and Bruce Coughlin did the arrangements. Wonderful Bruce Coughlin, who's done all these arrangements for musicals and everything. So I was extremely fortunate because I had people who were like family and who knew how to kind of take care of me and were able to really guide me in my very, very young recording career at that point. It was, there was a lot of, learning on the curve and trying to, really get the right approach to all those songs. So yeah.
Jonathan Rio here saying, I was lucky enough to see Darius in Children of Eden, Rent, Jesus Christ Superstar.
Wow.
Once on this island, I swear I'm not a stalker. He's acting as good as his singing. So the acting is as good as the singing.
Thank you so much, Jonathan, and thank you for seeing all. I won't say you're a stalker, but you did go a long distance because those shows are all over the place.
Daydream is a great album. If you haven't heard it yet, run fast to Spotify or iTunes or whatever and get it.
Thank you.
Welcome. You're watching on Jim Masters TV on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. We would love that, Jonathan. Good to have you on the show here. Hope you'll be a regular viewer. And I'm glad you're loving the interview conversation with Darius. This is wonderful. And when you see things like that from people who support your work, who love what you do, who feel inspired, I know when I get that through my work, it really touches me, moves me, and drives me even more to continue doing the work. Does it do the same, I imagine, for you too, huh?
Yeah, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for it. Because sometimes as performers, when you go through those moments of the valleys as well as the hills.
Why am I doing this?
Valleys, and you're like, oh God, did I make the right choice? Am I ever going to work again? Am I going to do this? How am I going to create this next thing that I have in my head and I don't know how to do it? But I am, just by testament of what Jonathan wrote there, because those were very.
He's from Brazil. He met you in an elevator.
The fact that he also knows the Strayhorn album, because Children of Eden actually also was a very seminal moment because it gave me my first kind of known musical theater song by a lot of musical theater fans. It was a song called Lost in the Wilderness. And and for people who are fans of Stephen Schwartz and Children of Eden, and that song, particularly for a lot of young musical theater tenors who are auditioning for musicals, they use that song, and it's wonderful that those things are out in the world, and I can't help but be extremely grateful for it, and it gives me just a moment of calm to say, okay, just trust what you're doing.
Absolutely. How did you like being a part of Rent, being in that production?
Oh gosh, I always describe Rent as the show not that I wanted to do, it's the show I had to do. It was the show I had to do. And
how'd the opportunity develop for you?
Well, it's a wonder that I actually ended up doing Rent. Really.
Isn't it funny how that stuff happens in the field?
It's a wonder because I turned it down originally. Yes.
You did.
Horrors. I turned it down. Don't be mad, everyone. Don't be mad because I still ended up doing it. I had been touring Europe with this wonderful piece called I Was Looking at the Ceiling, Then I Saw the Sky, and I had been gone for almost, I think, maybe 8-9 months or whatever. I got back here. It was such an amazing experience, and I was called in by the same casting director who cast me in that show, Bernie Telsey. And Bernie Telsey was a much smaller casting agency than he is now. But he cast me in that I Was Looking to See, and then I saw this guy, and he says, Darius, there's a show called Rent that's at the New York Theater Workshop. Would you please come in and audition for it? And I was like, sure, whatever. And they sent me this demo tape by this guy, Jonathan Larson. And I was listening to it, it had this song, Live in My House, I'll Be Your Shelter. just pay me back. And it was just like, dun, dun, dun. And it was just like that. And I was like, oh, that's a nice song. That's very sweet. That's it. And I knew I had to learn that. And so I went in, and Jonathan Larson, it was the one and only time I ever met Jonathan Larson, was behind the audition table, along with Michael Greif, the director, and Tim Wilde, the musical director. And I sensed a lot of nervousness in the room because I didn't realize how major it was for them and how major this show potentially. I just didn't know. I didn't know. So I went in. I think I sang, "I can't stand the rain against my window, bringing back sweet memories," because they wanted some kind of rock, kind of edgy song. So I was like, all right, I'll sing "I Can't Stand the Rain." And then they wanted me to sing "I'll Cover You." And and then they said, "Now, Darius, sing it kind of gospel-y, sing it kind of slow, 3/4 tempo, like, really kind of somber, kind of more gospel." So I did that the best I could with what that was. And then I didn't hear from them for like weeks. And in that time, I accepted another job in Morocco. And because it was for the King of Morocco.
Not too shabby. In
Morocco.
In Morocco.
The moment I accepted that job, my agent that I had at the time, my dearly departed Bill Timms, and he just passed away a couple of weeks ago.
Wonderful 2020, I tell you.
It's something, which, of course, just, you really look at all the blessings and all the
right.
But my dear beloved Bill Timms had called me and said, "Darius, they want you to understudy the ensemble." They want you to be in the ensemble and maybe understudy. And I was like, "I don't want to understudy. I don't want to do that. Nah, I said, "No, that's okay. Tell them thank you, but no, that's all right." And it wasn't even a thing for me. And I went to Morocco, lived my life. I got back, and this was New Year's. It was a New Year's thing that I was doing in Morocco. So I got back in the new year. It was 1996 of January. Jonathan Larson died. Mm-hmm. All of that stuff happened. And Rent became this juggernaut, still playing at the New York Theater Workshop, off-Broadway. And I was like, oh, that's the show that I turned down. And then in that moment, Jim, I swear, this is the truth. In that moment, I thought to myself, I'm going to end up doing that show. I don't know how it's going to happen. I'm going to end up doing the show. And I just put it to bed, and I collected my
unemployment.
Got a call from Rent is going to be moving to Broadway. It's definitely moving to Broadway. They need solid people in the cast who can understudy, and they said, "Would you please consider it?" And the thing is, Darius, you have to audition for it again. So I said, okay. I said, please, can I just see it again, Bernie? Can they get me? Because it was sold out. I said, get me in to see it again before I agree. And he says, let me see what I can do. He managed to get me in. I saw the opening scene. Now remember, Jonathan Larson died. It's at the New York Theater Workshop. The whole cast comes in. Anthony Rapp starts his first line and everything. And then, Adam Pascal starts his guitar. And then there's the blackout. And Anthony Rapp goes, "The power blows." And from the moment that music started, gotta do it. Gotta do it. It was that simple and that direct in my being. And I said, I gotta do it. And so I went in, I auditioned for Tim Wilde again. I started with them, and it was still off Broadway. I wasn't performing with when they were off Broadway, but I joined it while it was still off Broadway because they knew it was going to be going. And so I needed to come in and see it a couple of times. And my first day of rehearsal, I crossed the street with Adina Menzel. And I was like, "Hi, I'm in the show." She was like, "Hi." I don't know you. But you will, Adina Menzel.
But you will.
and that and it was an amazing show to do. It was an amazing show. I shouldn't say I'd never been part of a cast that it worked. So, but doing that show was like a prayer, in that first year. I mean, they were so, I think the cast was in shock, and it was a bit traumatizing, in terms of the way that Jonathan Larson was there one day and then he wasn't, and the way he died. It was such a shock, and it was so important to each and every member of that cast that the show be done to the best of its ability and giving everything that they had. Every performance. I mean, every performance, and that show's very emotional. And so, and at one point I did end up going on a lot. I went on a lot, and I understudied not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, 6 people. And I went on for everybody all the time. Because, it was a very hard show to do and to keep that emotional thing. So, but it I tell you, if I didn't respect the theater before that, I certainly learned to respect
it. Really did after. Absolutely. We have Jerome Brooks Jr. is watching. He was on just a couple. Yeah, he was a guest a couple of nights ago. We had a wonderful conversation with him. He says in '98 he had an application for AMDA, wanted to go even more when he saw your name on the material, as he recognized the name from Children of Eden soundtrack and his song "Lost in the Wilderness."
Yeah. Jerome is very lovely. Jerome and I worked together on a piece that actually one of the Rent cast members, Freddie had directed. That's how I met Jerome.
Christine said, I saw Darius in Rent, Gershwin's fascinating rhythm when visiting New York City for Broadway shows, possibly other shows as well.
Oh my God, Christine, you get a prize because Fascinating Rhythm ran like 2 weeks.
She saw it. I saw Darius in Rent, and let me tell you that he needed to be much more than a swing in that show, but it was still a necessary step on his path to where he is now. That's from Kev Ware.
Yeah, that's my dear friend Kevin Ware, who I know from Chicago, who danced with the wonderful Joseph Holmes Dance Company. And
Santa Fe?
Why does it crack you up, Kevin?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
What does that mean?
Tell us. Inquiring minds want to know, Kev. What was it about Santa Fe?
Well, also because I was so much shorter than Jesse Martin, who originated the role. And so standing next to Wilson Jermaine Heredia in the high heels, I was Collins Light.
Yeah.
I actually had to have lifts in my boots, to kind of sort of level out the height a little, because Jesse is tall, and Byron Utley, who was also in the show, was also tall and everything. So I had to kind of be like, okay, I'm not a short guy, but compared to them.
But compared to them, they're like giants. And then, of course, along the way with this illustrious career and performance, recording artist, acting, singing, taking on all these roles, you met a few other illustrious people along the way. Here is Diana Ross. Tell us about this meeting.
Well, that was very brief. I was very fortunate to take a picture with her. That's backstage at Rent. When I say backstage,
right,
we really didn't have a backstage. We had an alley because it was the Nederlander Theater, and there really wasn't any, so basically everyone who came, backstage afterwards or in the intermission, as it were, because when we had celebrities like Miss Ross or Donna Summer or Prince or Tom Cruise or any of those people, they were ushered into that area so that they would be converged upon. And Diana Ross was lovely. She's so vibrant. When you talk about people who inspire, she's another one who I absolutely love. I had her Evening with Diana Ross album that I played religiously when I was a young man. And when I met her, and I said, Miss Ross, just before that picture was taken, may I take a picture with you? And she was like, yes. And just those teeth, and she seemed so energized by all that young energy around her. And so she just was so warm and received everyone so beautifully. And she was lovely.
And of course, Oprah as well. How did this meeting happen?
My girl Oprah.
At Alvin Ailey there?
That was the 50th anniversary of Alvin Ailey, which was, I believe it was Mr. Rio who had mentioned Jesus Christ Superstar in Atlanta. So this was just before I had gone to do Jesus Christ Superstar gospel in Atlanta at the Alliance Theater. This was at City Center. And it was for the Ailey 50th anniversary, which not only was it the 50th anniversary, it was Judith Jamison's last year as artistic director. So I had not, that was a very big deal because I was personally asked by Judith Jamison to participate in that thing, and I sang one of the spirituals in their famous ballet Revelations. And so it was myself and Billy Porter, Layla Hathaway. It was amazing. Oh, and Jesse Norman. So, and Oprah introduced it. She introduced the whole thing, and so of course she was converged on by so many people. But years later, I did a show on Broadway, Shuffle Along, the last Broadway show I've done at this point, up to this point. And she came and did a beautiful thing for all the cast and gave us these beautiful baskets of flowers and soaps and massage oils, and with a gift card to what is that hotel, that famous hotel? Oh gosh. But it was a $1,000 gift card.
Is it to one in Chicago?
No, this was in New York, and the name is escaping me all of a sudden.
The Waldorf Astoria?
No, but like that. It's more modern. Kyle, if Kyle's watching this, he'll put it on.
It'll be our Wikipedia.
But we were a big cast, and she gave this huge. She was wonderful.
Michael Bolton as well.
Michael Bolton. It's so funny. He's like, oh, my old pal, Michael Bolton. We shared the dressing room backstage. This is at Lincoln Center, and we were doing a celebration of Disney, and he of course sang the pop version of Go the Distance.
Is this the hotel?
I'm sorry?
Is that the hotel?
Yes, the Mandarin Oriental. And Kyle wrote Mandarin, but it's Mandarin.
Yeah.
The Mandarin Oriental. That was where Oprah gave us those gift cards too. Yes. But no, this is backstage at Lincoln Center for a Disney celebration, and the celebration of the music of Disney, and Michael Bolton, who sang the pop version of Go the Distance, and my dear friend Vanessa Williams, also who sang Colors of the Wind. And I was asked to sing the song that was from, oh goodness, what was that? The movie with Amy Adams, where she played the cartoon girl that came to life. Oh gosh, Enchanted? No, it wasn't Enchanted. I think it was Enchanted with Susan Sarandon
and
yeah, and the song. It was the big song that they sang in Central Park. How do you know that you love her? Du, 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 du. I was asked to sing that song, so that was what that was. And Michael Bolton and I shared a dressing room, and what was so funny, he is a really great guy and very easygoing. He's so funny because in my silliness, we both had similarly colored blazers that we were going to be wearing. We were both in just our shirts in that picture, but we were wearing similar colored blazers. And I, at one point, getting ready for the show, I put a blazer on that I thought it was mine. I was like, I'm gonna put this blazer on. And I was like, God, this blazer feels snug. It feels a little snug, but okay, well, whatever. Maybe I did a few push-ups beforehand. Then it feels a little snug. And Michael said, Darius, I know that you really, really admire me.
Right.
cannot steal my blazer. You cannot have.
Everything except the blazer.
I was mortified because I've been walking around in it, and I was just like, oh, this was whatever, you know. And he was like, Darius, I know that you really love me, but he was very charming and very funny. I really love him.
Yes. A friend of mine introduced me to him several years ago. She's known him since I think they were kids, and did all of the PR for him in the early years. And I've done a lot of charity work for the Michael Bolton Foundation that he has, which does such beautiful work.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, he really is a wonderful guy.
He's a great guy, and just doesn't take himself too seriously at all.
He really doesn't. No.
He's very, very. Really.
Here's another cool photo. Tell us about this one, Darius.
What? Well, that lady. Oh, that lady. Well, that's my girl. That's my
Vanessa. Girl. Yeah.
That is. Well,
where was this event?
This was in Washington D.C. On the Capitol. This was a Memorial Day celebration back in 2005.
Oh yeah.
I had done the show Kiss of the Spider Woman with Cheetah Rivera, and then after Cheetah left, Vanessa was brought in to replace her, and it was Vanessa's Broadway debut after many years of trying to get on Broadway, and this was her Broadway debut. This picture wasn't, but Spider Woman was, and we sparked a friendship from that. And because I had asked her during Spider Woman, I said, if you ever wanted someone to duet with, I'm your guy. I said, sort of kiddingly, but not. Right. And she kind of looked at me and she said, okay. And she asked me to sing a duet with her, and that sparked this really great friendship. She's family. She's she's family, and that was an amazing opportunity at the Capitol. This was those celebrations were hosted by Ossie Davis up until that year because he had passed away, and also performing at that was Ruby Dee. And this was the first public appearance that she had made since Ossie had passed. So it was a really big deal, and she was just stunning. But it was great performances. I mean, it was her and Charles Durning, actor Charles Durning.
And that was on the Memorial Day. That more than likely that was on PBS.
It was on PBS. It was a
PBS special, right? Yeah, they do that, and then they do the Capitol 4th. How about this?
That's me singing, and the people all said, sit down, you're rocking the boat. People all sit down. That's me playing Nicely at the Bucks County Playhouse. That was back in 2017. I was playing Nicely. In this stage of my development, as my mother would say, it's been nice because in the early part of my career, I didn't do a lot of what you call the golden age musicals. I had only done one, like in my younger theater days, in terms of professionally, and that was Carousel at Lincoln back in 1994. But I hadn't, I was sort of like the new musicals guy, So it's interesting at this stage. Now I'm being asked, when they come around, is to do some more kind of classic golden age music. So it was a wonderful opportunity, and I loved playing Nicely. Again, something I would have never thought of for myself. And it was a fantastic production. I loved it.
Isn't it amazing how that happens? These things that just sort of develop on their own, these opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those, it's sort of like you throw all these things up in the air and say, I want to do this. I want to, people say, what is your dream role? I don't even know that I can say what my dream role is anymore. I mean, I just know I wanted to do this. I know I want to do film. I know I want to do TV. I want to do this. I want to do that. Blah, 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 blah. And the thing is, sometimes you go for this certain idea, and which is great, and you put energy into all those things. But it sometimes comes around to you not when you expect it. And that is really kind of the story of my career. A good deal of the things that I've done, I did not expect to do, or I did not expect it to take me in the direction that it did.
Absolutely. I want to share something. We'll go back to the pictures in a minute, but we have sort of like a world premiere exclusive here. Nature Boy. Tell us about this one, the video.
Well, just to manage everyone's expectations, this is me in rehearsal. I told Jim, I said, Jim, you're getting something really exclusive here. But it's really me in process with me and my fantastic, generous, wonderful musical director. He's not just he is, great pianist, and I just borrow him every once in a while. But Ted Firth, who works with everyone from Marilyn May to Brian Stokes Mitchell. And this is, me trying to figure out how I want to approach Nature Boy. So it was still in process because I had sung it. I wasn't really satisfied with it. So I said, Ted, let's just play. And so this is us in process.
All right. This is an exclusive here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Enjoy, everybody, courtesy of Darius De Haas. Here we go.
Yeah. There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far, over land and sea. A little shy and sad of eye, but very wise was he. And then one day, one magic day, he came my way. And as we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest joy you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. There was a boy, a certain strange enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far, over land and sea. A little shy, sad of eye, very wise was he. And then one magic day he came my way, and as we spoke of money into fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest joy you'll ever learn is just to love. It's just to love. It's just to love and be loved in return. Be loved in return. Be loved in
Very nice. I like that part. At the end.
Now what?
That's usually where people would do the ovation.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
That was terrific. You guys play off each other beautifully. You've got this nice symbiotic relationship. How long have you worked together?
Oh gosh, for years actually. I mean, Ted and I worked together at least as far back as 2003, maybe, where we did. I can't remember. It might have been something at NJPAC at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center, and it might have even been before that, because Ted has worked with so many people, and he, I mean, thank you for that. That, because he takes such good care of singers and is very sensitive to us, and he works with such a wide array of singers. I mean, and to really key in to what a singer's particular pattern is, or how they work, and just how to support them. That is a skill in and of itself. And Ted, he not only does it through his musical ability, but just with such love and generosity. It's we're very, very lucky to.
Thanks for sharing that beautiful version of Nature Boy here exclusively on the show. I know that was something that you sort of whipped up last minute just for us. So we appreciate that. And wait, folks, there's more. Something's coming. Tell us about that one.
Something's coming. Well, that's one of those songs that I had sung for years. Something's Coming is a song I've sung for years. And it's one of those things that, you sing it in the more traditional way, in terms of how it's done in the show. And I've done it with orchestras. I did it, I've done it with just piano, whatever. And I was with another dear friend, amazing pianist, James Sampliner, who actually played me a version that he was working on for another singer. And I was like, oh, that's nice. That's very, very nice. And so we started working on it. And then, time passed, and I just remembered the idea of it. And then I started working on it with another pianist, Michael Mitchell, and we kind of found our own sort of approach to it, and actually notated it so that is what it's going to be, because it brings in, all these different things with the samba and everything else. So I had done it, but I hadn't done it with Ted, and so I was, it was showing it to Ted for the first time, and and I hadn't sung it in a while, so I have a little lyric goof, and It's funny, but I thought, well, this would be fun to, kind of show the process because, I really enjoy what this version became.
And again, another exclusive, right? Another exclusive just for our viewers.
Warts and all. There's a big wart in the middle of this one.
Look, the cat jumps on top of the piano.
I have a big old brain fart.
All right, here we go. Enjoy, everybody.
So this is something's coming. I'm still Darius. And this is still Ted Firth. He hasn't changed yet in all these years.
I wish that was true.
Still, looking better than ever. Looking better than ever.
Too.
Oh, well, more. But so we're gonna try actually one of my favorite recent arrangements that was done with my friend Michael Mitchell. It is Something's Coming. It's only just out of reach, down the block on the beach, under a tree. I got a feeling there's a miracle gonna come true, coming to me. Could it be? Yes, it could. Something's coming, something good. If I can't wait, something's coming. I don't know what it is, but it is gonna be great. With a click, with a shock, pull the jingle, door unlock, open the latch. Something's coming. I don't know what it is, but it is. Da 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 da. Yeah. Around the corner, oh, it's right down the river. Come on, deliver to me. Will it be? Yes, it will. Maybe just by holding still, it will be there. Come on, something, come on in. Don't be shy, be a guy. Pull up a chair. The air is humming, and something great is coming. Who knows? It's only just out of reach, down the block on the beach. Maybe tonight, maybe tonight, maybe tonight.
Yes.
That cracks me.
But it was terrific. It was great. You guys enjoyed. I mean, everything seemed good. I mean,
I just kept it going. I just said, just keep it moving. Let's just keep it moving.
right. You just exactly. And you did it. Ralph had asked a question earlier. Gorgeous. Have a question. How is it appearing in the groundbreaking production of Carousel with your sister Audra? Have to add my pal Devin.
Devin, yes. With my sister, maybe met my sister Audra like that,
Probably what I mean.
But I love, that was the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful, stunning productions. Not only that I've ever been in, but just that I think, that rendering of Carousel was just gorgeous. It was so beautiful. And Audra McDonald, she divines something from beyond in terms of her artistry and her humanity, quite frankly. She created Black Theater United, which I talked about early at the top of this interview. But she's a force to be reckoned with, and supremely gifted, and it was really a treat to share the stage with her, and to have shared the stage with her subsequently in concerts and in other shows, and Shuffle Along and in Marie Christine and all of that. And Devin, I love Devin. He was wonderful, very, very kind, beautiful dancer. We had a wonderful time. And he was a great jazz fan. I think he was a great fan of my Uncle Andy. Yeah, very, very musically astute. We talked about music a lot, Devin and I.
Christine says the earlier video was a spectacular performance. Enjoyed the song, terrific photos as well. Love West Side Story. Darius has such a fabulous and expressive voice.
Thank you very much.
Very beautifully said. We have some more photos as we go down memory lane together as well. Here's a cool one. Tell us about this one, Darius.
Well, I tell you, that has been the great blessing of my life in this past year.
That's why we have that photo here. We do our research.
That is Rachel Brosnahan on the right, to my left, and on my left or to my right is Mr. Leroy McLean, and that is us on one of the mini sets of the very popular, recently 20 Emmy Award nominated show, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And I provide the singing voice for the character that Leroy McLean plays, known as Shy Baldwin. So yeah, I joined the show. Well, we both joined the show towards the end of it was the last episode of the second season. And then Mrs. Maisel, the main character, played by Rachel Brosnahan, who is this housewife who, a lovely upper class Jewish housewife, finds herself, dumped by her husband, left by her husband, and rediscovers herself as this comedian who's really great. And in her adventures of being this great comedian and trying to work her way through the ranks of being the only woman in this club full of men, she finds herself being the opening act for Shy Baldwin and goes on tour with him. And so the third season shows her being on tour with Shy Baldwin and all the adventures that ensue in that. So, and it's been quite a ride.
This picture reflects that too, yeah.
Yes, this was done by, I believe, a fan. This was done by a fan who found out, and this was before, Amazon, who produces Maisel.
Amazon Prime and all that, yeah.
Amazon Prime. You can still stream it. You can stream it right now if you like. But before it was really put out that I was the voice, this person did their research and she put that package together and released the 2 original songs that I sang this past season.
Very nice. And here you are at 54 Below.
Yes.
You're doing New York.
Yes, that was the promotional thing that I did to, basically saying, please come see my show, please. And and yeah, that was back in, I think maybe 2000, gosh, I can't remember, 2017, 2018.
Yeah. How do you like performing at venues like that? It's a great place, huh?
Oh, I love it. I love it. It really is, really where I feel most
Intimate and
it's really kind of my home, and where I really on those stages, those intimate stages, really learning how to connect with an audience and really knowing how to do, how to, craft a show and really take them on a journey, but really, because I can see faces there. And so I really, whereas, most people find that intimidating, I think in the art of, intimate concert, cabaret, that it's an invaluable experience for anybody, because, I take that onto concert stages. So
look at this.
Dear Kelly Rabke. Yes, my dear Kelly Rabke. That is from the show I think I mentioned earlier, Children of Eden. And
when was this one? How far back? How far back is that one?
That is 1997. Because that was not too long after I left Rent. That was like my first or second big job right after I left Rent.
That's a great job. Great memories there, huh? With that experience.
Yeah. That well, you were saying what were some of the highlights and the things that kind of put you, and that was certainly a milestone, and gave me and gave the world, that wonderful Stephen Schwartz score and Lost in the Wilderness, and it was great, beautiful.
Cool one too. This one here. Variety of different photos.
There's a variety of photos there. I mean, we see the one with Rachel and Leroy on the top left hand. Right under that, it's nice because I just recently did a interview about this show. Right under that is a production of The Wiz.
Yeah.
I did at the Muni. In St. Louis back in 2018, and I played the lion. So that's me, expressing myself as a lion in that big furry costume.
Yeah, and The Wiz.
Yeah.
That's incredible, isn't it? Such a legendary
it's the
play.
show that really launched everything, really, in a lot of ways. And finally to get to do it was just amazing. Under that is my dear Vanessa Williams, and that's us in a recording studio. We were laying down something along with Henry Hay, who has his back to the camera. Mm-hmm. In the top middle on the left is the title on the Hudson. Ice on the Hudson, which was a concept album written with music by Rini Rosnes, great composer, pianist, and the writer David Haydu, who wrote the lyrics for all these songs, and it was myself and Janice Siegel and Karen and oh my God, her name is leaving me. Oh my God, she's gonna kill me. David Haydu's wife, Karen. Oh God, it's gonna come to me. It's gonna come to me
at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, they're all gonna kill me. And in the middle,
phone a friend.
In the middle was be on a TV show. I was doing a show called oh God, my brain. It's too many things, but it was me on a TV show. Yeah.
You on a TV show.
Yeah, you on a TV show. Yeah. Oh, yes. That is Justin. I just seen him in Kiss Me Kate. That's me backstage at Kiss Me Kate.
Very cool. Very cool. Here's another one from the past.
Oh, that's Rent. That was us in Rent. That was Rent. So you see Adina and Tay, Tucker, who was our soundboard guy, and Jesse Martin there on the bottom.
Very, very cool.
This was my second CD duo outing with Mr. Stephen Blyer, a great pianist who teaches at Juilliard. Karen Oberlin, thank you, Jennifer Roberts. Oh God, that's horrible. Charge it to my brain and not my heart. Wonderful Karen Oberlin.
Yes, welcome back, Jennifer. It's good to see you here. She's been with us a couple of nights.
Yes,
wonderful.
Yes. Yes, as I said, David Haydu's wife, Karen Oberlin, fantastic singer.
This one, Quiet Please.
And this was our album of standards, mostly mostly standards that we did. And it was produced, we did Something's Coming earlier. It was produced by Leonard Bernstein's wonderful daughter, Jamie Bernstein, wonderful writer, speaker, Anastasia. Wow, you're pointing it out, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, that was my first experience working on an animated film. I sang in the ensemble on the soundtrack. So all the ensemble songs, I was singing on that. I tell you, I'm grateful to Anastasia, boy, because I'd done it, and it was my first big SAG job, Screen Actors Guild job, and then I wasn't able to pay my SAG dues because I, didn't have any money, so I didn't pay my SAG dues for a while, and then I moved into my first. Ted Firth is your MD as well. Isn't he great, Jennifer? I moved into my first big apartment with Kyle, and I finally reconnected with SAG and was able to pay my dues. And they were like, "You have all this money from Anastasia, all this residual money." I was like, "Yay! Redesign the kitchen." Yeah.
Good stuff, right? That was a nice surprise.
Very nice. Thank God. It's right on time. Oh, that's Matt. Yeah, that's me with Singing with Matt. That was us doing a song called Wanted.
Yeah.
Yes. And in concert. Yeah, that was really, really, really nice.
Yeah. Nice musicianal accompaniment in the back there too, huh?
Yeah. It was really lovely. Really lovely.
When was this one?
That was, that was back in 2000, maybe 2015, maybe. Yeah. I think that was 2015.
And there's your beloved hometown, Chicago.
Yeah.
And you performed in Chicago too, right? In Chicago, there was.
Can I say it again?
We were in Chicago as well. Performed in Chicago.
You mean in the city of Chicago or in the musical?
The musical.
No, I've never
did, huh?
Chicago. I've never.
You should, right?
Great. No,
If anybody's listening.
I haven't done it yet.
And I know you're gonna love this shot. We did some real digging here.
Oh, well.
Mother's Day, right?
It doesn't get any better than that. Yeah. That is
Tell us about this very important shot.
Yeah, well, this is my beloved mother, Jerome De Haas, next to me, and then next to my mother is my beloved, lovely sister, Aisha De Haas, brilliant singer, an actress in her own right, and next to Aisha is my dear, beloved father, Edgar De Haas, Ed De Haas. And I believe, I think there might have been a Mother's Day shot from last year. That looks like it was from last year. They are, both my parents are currently at the Actors Fund home in Inglewood, New Jersey, and blessedly, thank goodness, being taken care of very, very well, particularly in this time of COVID, in which, where the nursing homes were hit really horribly. And I'm just very grateful to the Actors Fund home for really trying to get as far ahead of the curve as they could and really putting down protocols and sanctions in place to protect its residents.
Absolutely.
They did very well, and thank goodness my parents are both well.
Who's that good-looking chap?
Oh goodness!
Shot.
Yes. That shot was taken by Steve Vacariello. Wonderful photographer. And that was one of the shots that I ended up using for publicity. Taken when I was working on the second solo with the second album with Stephen Blyer, the Quiet Place album.
And he's saying, you know what? Maybe I wasn't a child prodigy like I wanted to be, but I am now. Look out. Look out. Here I am.
Oh, goodness.
Come see me.
Yeah.
Exactly. When you look at all of this extraordinary background and all these opportunities and all these sources of inspiration you've had from your family and from other mentors and people you've had an opportunity to be educated by and work with and play off of as well. What continues to give you this great blessing and inspiration to do what you do so well, Darius?
Well, one, I really can't do anything else. I really don't know how to do anything else.
That would help. That could be good answer.
If I didn't do this, I'd be, kind of, shit out of luck. But
what would you be doing if you didn't go into the arts? Is there anything else that does speak to you that you would have done?
I might probably write more. I
knew that would be, yeah.
Be a thing, I don't think, because I do the, because when I really can sort of get into a zone of writing stuff, and particularly when I can write about experiences and people that have influenced me that I've been so fortunate to know, when I can get into a certain way about it, that brings me comfort. So maybe a writer, perhaps a writer.
So we're saying some of the things that bring you the blessing and the joy and the inspiration to do this work.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, when I see all these different, it's almost overwhelming. It's just like, oh gosh, you brought that out, so you're not prepared. But I guess that's what it is. It's sort of like, this is your life, right?
And Ralph Edwards.
It just reminds you how fortunate reminds me how fortunate and how wonderful this varied career and work has been, and it's really wonderful work. I really enjoy the work. I really enjoy the journey of it. I enjoy the experience of it. I enjoy the creating of it. And I still get excited when I can be in the room. I mean, that was a great joy of working on Mrs. Maisel. Really, I was like, oh my gosh, everything that I've done has really helped to serve me in this moment, in terms of having to sing all these very different type genres of songs, but it all felt so natural and so working on that show, I was constantly reminded, working on that show, of all the things I was given from my family, from my theater experiences, from working in concert, connecting with audiences, and how I could impart that either to Roy or or convey that in the recording of it, because of the different situations. So that really, there's always things that come around to say, you know what, this is why you went in this direction that you went in. This is the journey. Enjoy the journey.
Is there anything you haven't done yet that's still on that list of, I still need to do this, or I want to have the opportunity to do this?
Well, I would love to do far more TV. I loved working in that medium. I really did. So I would love to do more TV. Dietland, that was the name of the TV show.
See, I knew if I
God.
vamped long enough, you would.
The show on AMC, it only ran one season. It was an interesting, fascinating show. And I played a hair salon owner, stylist. So yeah, that was that picture, if you think, but that was Dietland. But yeah, I would love to do more TV, and I would love to do I would love to do a number of them. Once we can get back and we can all be safe and everything is good. I would also love to do, a great film. I would love to have a really wonderful role in a film. There are those things where people, who do those films, who maybe didn't do a lot of them or whatever, but they had that one film that they did. I'm thinking I would love to do more than one, but I would love to do that. I would love to give voice to an animated character. I've gone in for a few of those, and nothing has quite landed yet. But that would be fun. That would be fun. But I just sort of, really toss it up to the universe, and I said, let it just all where it may. I said, surprise me, and usually the things that come my way is like, oh my God, that's a lot. How am I going to do that? The things that scare me. I want to do something that I'm going to really ask for with this one. I want to do something that scares me, that really kind of like, okay.
Gets the juices going and challenges you.
And that challenges me, and that says, I didn't realize I could do that.
That's right. Wow. That's right. Yeah, because you've gone through your life, it seems, as a thread where you said, I can do that. Even when you were a kid, like you were saying, I could do that. I could try that. Oh, I'll be good at that. I should master that.
Along the way, as things progressed, there were things that came along that I was like, oh, really? Like when I finally was, I mentioned early on that I wasn't very good at Shakespeare, and I kind of shied away from it. And I ended up doing a Shakespeare production finally, the Westport Country Playhouse. I did production night, and I was mortified. I was like, oh my God. It was like, I had my No Fear Shakespeare and everything. And I tell you, I was so taken care of. And I think part of it was that I was able to say, I don't know what I'm doing. I need help. So please help me. I'm in your hands. And it really sort of kind of, so we could just really build from there. And I, worked very hard, and it really ended up being such a rewarding experience. It was really great. So, though, and I was scared to death. So those things, yeah.
Well, it's been a beautiful ride thus far, and much more success to come your way, Darius. This was wonderful having you as my guest, and all the time and the memories and the performances and the photos and this spectacular conversation. And I wish you nothing but continued success, my friend. And you're welcome back here anytime. I toast to you.
I toast to you. I wish I had some. I wish I knew everything I would have had.
Well, reach in and grab. Go ahead, grab it. Can you reach?
Oh, yeah. There we go.
There you go. So I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you.
Absolutely. It was lovely. Thank you so much for having me, Jim, and letting me babble on and on about my life and career.
Well, I certainly hope it met whatever expectations you might have had prior. I hope it met those expectations.
Oh, it was lovely. And again, thanks to Ralph Lamkin for coordinating all this, and continued success to you in doing everything that you're doing. And thank you for giving us this platform in which we could talk about our lives and careers, and and how we're all just trying to make it work.
We're all in it together. That's the way it is. That's the way it's meant to be, right?
Yeah, make it better.
Well, you're welcome back anytime. And again, stay well, stay healthy. It was fantastic having you on the show. You're truly a blessing to the arts, and we wish you nothing but continued blessings in your life, Darius.
Thank you so much, Jim. Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for watching.
Yeah, good group from around the world, huh?
Yeah.
You're in what they call Lovety Hall with all the Loveties.
Yes, yes, I was gonna say, I was like, Lady Gaga has her little monsters. You have your Loveties.
We've got the Loveties. Good place to be.
Yeah.
Take care, my friend.
Cheers to you, my friend.
You as well. Thanks for being with us.
Yes. Good night.
Now. Wasn't that terrific? Darius De Haas, an amazing talent, recording artist and actor and singer and a performer extraordinaire, and so many incredible productions. And he's so passionate. He's so spirited. Loved having him here. Thank you very much, Jennifer. We appreciate that. Nice hearts there. Christine, so talented, Darius. Thank you. Absolutely. You are very welcome. Kyle, welcome. Good to have you here. Hope we see you guys again. We're here every night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Just wanted to show the folks, too, we have some amazing people coming up. Tomorrow night, we have brilliant actress Semina De Laurentiis. She is going to be with us coming up tomorrow night exclusively. And then we have music legends. This is Randy and Ann Dorman. They have this incredible studio where they have worked with some of the greats in the industry, from artist development to branding, marketing to production, and so much more. They are incredible. Then on Sunday, Cuneo is going to be here. Cuneo was a member of Under the Street Lamp. That's where I first met him when I interviewed him on PBS. He has his own brilliant career. He's an amazing dancer and singer and performer. Cuneo is here exclusively. He's a dear friend, and he's here this Sunday. On Monday, we have legendary and award-winning film director, producer, and actor Lloyd Kaufman. He's a riot. He is here on Monday. And then on Tuesday, we have winner of the 6th season of America's Got Talent. This is Landau Eugene Murphy Jr. He won America's Got Talent on NBC, the very 6th season of it. And he's going to be here. And I hear in talking with Landau as well as his agent, he is going to be performing live for us as well. He is here this Tuesday. Again, this is Landau Eugene Murphy Jr., winner of the 6th season of America's Got Talent on NBC. He is here on Tuesday. That's just some of the many guests. We are booked. I launched this show 14 weeks ago, and we are booked with guests all the way till mid-October. It's amazing. So many of my friends, so many people that I know, so many people are just telling each other, wanting to come on. And then there's episodes where it's just us, the viewers and me. We do host chat, and we do on location, and we do food, and we do all kinds of cool things as well. Nostalgia, music, lots of cool things. So this is truly an entertainment lifestyle talk show series with a myriad of different things we present. We're not the same thing every night, that's for sure. We thank once again Darius De Haas. Is amazing actor, singer, recording artist, wonderful conversation. We thank our dear friends also at LMG, Lankin Music Group, for all of their care and attention as well. We appreciate, love them as well. And don't forget, it is all about love. And thanks to all the lovities who were watching around the world this evening. Always a blessing and always a pleasure to have all of you here. As we always say, don't forget to relax, to breathe, love one another. Breathe from the diaphragm. Take good care of yourself and take good care of one another. Always relax, even through the darkest times. Take care of one another and be good to one another. And as always, we always say this too. I might be the star of the show, the host and executive producer of the Jim Master Show Live, but you guys are the stars all around the world. You guys are the stars as well. Thanks for joining us, everybody. It was another great night. Love having you here. Truly a blessing and a joy joining us every night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here on the Jim Masters Show Live. We'll be back tomorrow night. Samina De Laurentiis is going to be here. It's going to be a terrific, terrific show. We look forward to having her, and we look forward to having you. This is your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, you have a good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.